Hey everyone, I'm Dave Dudley here with the Coach's Corner, where you can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on my website at daviddudley.com. Today I'm going to talk to you about rod selection. Yes, rod selection could be pretty complicated. I mean, think about it. We got a rod for everything in the world now. Everything from cranking rods to spinnerbait rods to buzzbait rods to Carolina rig rods. Whoa, ho, it can get way confusing. And then not only does it get confusing, but it burns holes in your pocket. I'm not saying that if you're not up to date with rods that that's a bad choice to do, because it was chosen by top professionals to claim it and say, hey, this is a Carolina rig rod. I'm not saying it's bad, but when it comes to choice of selection for me, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to go through I need a rod for a chartreuse and black square crankbait. I need a rod for, a green pumpkin finesse worm. No, I'm not saying any of that. Here's what I'm saying. It's fairly simple with me. I'm going to choose a rod that's pretty stiff all the way around the board. I'm not looking for anything limber. I'm not looking for something that's going to bend around like an ugly stick or come around that looks like a boogie whip that you're whipping at a horse or something. That's not going to be my choice. And here's why. Anytime you deal with a limber rod, you take a chance of never getting the hook past the barb. You have to have a fairly stiff pole in order to get the hook past the barb. Now, if I was to ask you to stand a long ways away from me, and I took a stiff pole and I barely put a hook in your hand, and I just said, I'm going to jerk it 6 inches one way, and I jerk it 6 inches one way, and then I took a limber pole and jerked it 6 inches one way, you tell me what is going to probably get a hook in you quicker and faster and deeper? Come on guys, we know it, a stiffer pole. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. If you're fishing off a ledge, fishing a football jig out deep, I'm going to ask you what kind of pole you're going to use. More than likely you're going to say, hey Dudley, I like a 7'6" medium heavy to heavy action pole. Then I'm going to say, hey, why do you like that? Because when you're fishing out offshore, I need to get that hook and bury that jig hook up into their mouth. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Then I'm going to ask, hey, do you feel better with a stiffer pole when you're making long casts? Yeah, that stiffer pole helps transmit it all the way to my rod into my hand. That stiffness really transmits it well. But, oh, so listen to what you just said. If a stiffer pole allows the hook to penetrate deeper and get in the fish's mouth and you feel better, what other scenarios are there in fishing? Because that's what we chase all over the world to do, is to catch fish. And the two most important ingredients are setting the hook, getting the bite, getting the hook in the fish's mouth, and feeling the bite. So when you choose a pole, I'm just offering my advice, is saying my choice is always going to be a stiffer pole. Thank you for joining me this week on Dudley's Coaching Corner.